Mick Schumacher is expected to follow in the footsteps of his father, Michael Schumacher, one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, and so far, he is on the right track. However, he still needs time to get to the level of F1 drivers and might one day end up driving for Ferrari. Mick is seen as the next big thing in F1. He has given brilliant performances in F3 and F2, which has heightened everyone's expectations from him. Currently, he is a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy and he drives for the US-owned Haas in F1. Considering that his car is not competitive, he has managed to pull off decent performances. But will he drive for Ferrari in F1? Let's dive straight into the video to find out. One of the reasons why Mick Schumacher will eventually make it to Ferrari is the potential he has shown throughout his performances. He won the FIA Formula 3 European Championship in 2018 and the FIA Formula 2 in 2020. In FIA Formula 3 European Championship, he topped the points table with 365 points and left the P2 behind by a large margin of 57 points. 2 years later, he again proved his mettle in Formula 2, where he secured the top spot by scoring 215 points, leaving the runner-up behind by 14 points. He won the F2 Championship by securing 2 wins, 8 podiums and 10 finishes in the points. His performance has received praise from other top F1 companies as well. Talking about Mick's performances, Toto Wolff, Mercedes team's principal, said, "Mick has the talent and intelligence to make his way in a top team and compete for race wins and maybe championships in the future." His performances have set the eyes of the world fixated on him to see whether he can carry the legacy of his father, especially with Ferrari. Mick Schumacher's move to join Ferrari Driver Academy was a big step forward, which has gotten him closer to driving for Ferrari in F1. He became a member of the FDA in 2019. In FDA, drivers are trained so that they can eventually make it to the driver's seats. As Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto said, "The Ferrari Driver Academy was not created to raise Formula 1 drivers, but the next driver for Ferrari." Mick is part of our Ferrari Driver Academy, which means we are still coaching him as a driver. It's part of our objective to continuously develop them as drivers, as the final objective is one day, if they are able to prove they are capable of being a Ferrari driver. Ferrari is definitely trying to have Mick Schumacher on their team in the coming seasons, if he continues to improve his performances. In 2021, he joined Team Haas in F1. However, he did not find much success in his first season, despite giving some good performances. He was 13th in Azerbaijan, 14th in Abu Dhabi and 12th in Hungary, which was his best finish. Unfortunately, he could not break into the top 10 and ended the season with no points. Haas continued with him in season 2022 and he is expected to give better performances. Already, he has broken the record of his previous season's best performance as he ended up 11th in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Analysing his performance in 2021, he said, "Obviously, we knew we were not going to be maybe the most competitive, but actually we were much closer than we expected. I think that those moments are where we gained a lot because of car changes we made of feelings that we had initially. Then, if I look further back, obviously Turkey. The race maybe didn't go to plan, but definitely qualifying did for the Budapest race. It was one of the strongest ones we had where we were able to fight with Max, even if his car was injured, but we still managed to fight with him. There were hidden wins out there, and it's about those hidden wins where we take the most energy and put it into good effort and then good work." Another thing to consider is that despite an uncompetitive car, he proved that he was handling it better than his teammate Nikita Mazepin, who he defeated in almost every race. Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto, expecting better performance from the season, said, "If I look at his past experience in both F2 and F3, normally he is delivering his best in the second season and not the first. I think Mick, the way he has developed himself, is learning a lot in the first season and becomes very strong in the second half of the second season. That's why I think 2 seasons will be important for him. But already in the second, I'm expecting to see progress compared to the first one. I'm really expecting him to prove how fast he is in an F1 context, both in qualifying and the race, to prove he is very strong in race pace and consistent in terms of bringing the car home in a good position. There are plenty of races left in the 2022 season for Mick to put on a show, and seeing his gradual improvements, he is definitely going to impress his bosses with his performance and end up in Ferrari in the upcoming seasons. He is not taking the pressure to drive for Ferrari and is focused to perform well in Haas, and he said, "It would be nice to sit in a Ferrari one day, but my main focus is clearly on Haas." Another step closer to Ferrari for Mick is his selection as one of 2 reserve drivers for Ferrari in 2022, which means that if any one of the main drivers were to skip a race for any reason, he could end up driving for Ferrari alongside either Charles Leclerc or Carlos Sainz. The other reserve driver on the list is Antonio Giovinazzi, who will be the reserve driver for 12 races and Mick for the remaining 11. As reported by Racer, Bonota said, "In terms of reserve drivers, obviously Antonio Giovinazzi will not drive in Formula One next year, but he will remain our reserve driver for 2022. He will be our reserve driver for 12 races, which is compatible with his Formula E calendar. For our remaining 11 races, Mick will be reserve driver for Ferrari, which I think is a great role. It's his second season next year. He is a Ferrari driver coming from the academy. We're very happy he can be part of the team as a reserve driver whenever that will be necessary, hopefully not." These words hint that Mick Schumacher is definitely in the plans and is going to drive for Ferrari sometime in the near future. Moreover, Carlos Sainz's contract with Ferrari is coming to an end in 2022, and if he does not continue with Ferrari, which is highly unlikely given his decent performances, we may end up seeing Mick Schumacher in Ferrari. As team principal said, "Today it is too early to decide, but there are the premises to see Mick in red in 2023. Let us know in the comments box what you think about the future of Mick Schumacher. Is he going to drive for Ferrari a year or 2 from now? Or will he end up driving against them in some other big team in the near future? And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.